Let's party!
Welcome everybody, one and all. We're here to send out the good vibes to the world. Number one, what's your favorite coffee?
I feel like I'm a pseudo coffee aficionado or whatever, you know, but honestly I'm more about functionality and about getting wired af. You know, as you know, I make the best coffee in my hood. The coffee I usually drink, it's called Shock, and I usually make it for my guests, and it's a pour over. It takes, you know, I make it with love. It's, you know, it's labor.
It takes some time because you gotta grind it and then pour it over.
Exactamundo.
What video games that you've played personally are one that you just like remember, like that was great, like that was awesome?
Pac-Man.
Like Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
From the 80s.
Motherfucking 8-bit.
She also plays Zelda.
Oh, I love Zelda, but I would treat it like Barbies though. Like I would like make Link like break into the castle, and like I would, you know, when you play Barbies, you kind of make up storylines and stuff.
Yeah, your own stories and stuff.
Yeah, like I love, you know, I would express my love for Zelda, my unconditional love, because, you know, that's what's sold to little girls, you know.
So what's something that you remember being really cool 10, 20 years ago that maybe is not as cool now?
Hollister and Tap Out.
Michael Cerna still wears Tap Out.
Hey Michael, what happened to the Tap Out sweater?
He still has it.
Did that shit get burned?
Yeah, left in Vegas.
It got burned. They did you a favor.
He tapped out that day.
The sweater tapped.
So what's something you like to be complimented on?
Everything. Keep them going. Keep them fucking going. Everything.
All right. If you could play out a scene in a movie, what movie would it be, and what scene would it be? Now, here's the complicated part. Can we act it out now?
I weigh. Cut. Do you want gold?
Yes. Yes.
You know, some of the objects I started off purchasing to fill the void in the beginning of my transcendence was Felix. So this is Felix. He's a Nahual, essentially a shapeshifter in Mexican folk. I fell in love with him because he's life-size, you know, and he has the sun on his back. You know, I had a friend that made me realize that the shape-shifting aspect of Felix is me. I am Felix. You know, when I want to turn into a cat, I am Felix, and that's the shape that I decide to turn into. Part of my awakening process, my cat has been there for me the entire time. Her name's Jude. She's 15 years old, and
She's beautiful.
oh, thank you. And she's the kindest soul I've ever met, and I just realized that last night, and it was beautiful. And the last but not least, BBL over here. Let me go ahead and bring her.
Go ahead.
You don't. I'm so sorry about your computer.
It's okay.
BBL has. She reminds me of my cat, to be honest. I don't know if she's on camera.
She is.
But BBL essentially represents this. She came to me during a time of healing where I was really, really sick. It was part of my Kundalini awakening when I was detoxing all the toxicity that had existed in my body for about 30 years. And she came from the Ukraine. She's an oral owl. I think that's her name, an oral owl. And it's this idea of overthinking, you know, overanalyzing life to the point that
you make it a science when it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's overthinking yourself and overthinking existence.
I see that you have 3 decks here, and I just kind of want to ask you a question. What's something that's like that you find special about each deck?
How can you analyze existence? And you know, so for me, tarot is essentially this visual therapy, which is more fun than formal therapy and Freud and all, you know, all that stuff in the shadow self, because you have images, you know, and I'm a visual learner. So tarot has been a significant part of my healing. However, the three most significant tarots that have changed my outlook and perception of life and myself are these three that I have here. And essentially the first ever deck that I've owned is the Tarot de Marseille, which is a French deck that existed during the Black Plague, which is similar to COVID-19, which is a neo-modern plague. Kran's deck. Kim Kranz is essentially who has connected me to my animal spirit guides and understanding that source sends messages through animals and through ways that we would never think, otherwise, because we're so used to formal language. We're used to speaking to our other beasties, our breed. However, Kranz has beautifully illustrated, she's a contemporary artist. I would highly recommend her if you want to begin to understand the tarot. This was the turning point for me, being able to analyze myself through animal spirit guides and being able to connect with the beasties that are out there trying to talk to us, but we just dismiss them by being ratty or disgusting or whatever. And being able to reflect.
Pest.
Yeah, being able to reflect on them and see yourself in them and understand that they're crossing your path for a reason, So if you see a rat, there's a reason why, and try to analyze that in your actual life, and I love that. And an ancestral healing that I had to tap into, essentially. And it went as far as Gaia, the gold card, and she is traditionally represented by the strength. But, in order to have strength, you need lust. Sobre todo el mundo.
Hoy, mañana y siempre.
Mucho, mucho, mucho paz y amor.